The early 2000s were not subtle. Your phone wasn't a sleek rectangle. It was a chrome-plated clamshell with LEDs that served no purpose. Your MP3 player had fake rivets and came in extreme blue. Your gaming controller? Transparent purple, because you needed to see the circuit board you didn't understand. This wasn't the age of good taste. This was the age of making absolutely certain everyone knew you owned stuff. Welcome to the golden age of tacky tech, where designers asked, "Should we?" and answered with plastic, lights, and unnecessary chrome. And nothing screamed, "Look at me," quite like transparent plastic. Someone in the late 90s decided that the inside of electronics was cool. That someone was Apple. The 1998 iMac G3 in Bondi Blue changed everything. Before that, high-tech meant serious. Black boxes, beige towers, professional equipment that looked like it meant business. Apple said, "No, let's make computers look like they belong in a beach resort gift shop." And we bought it. Literally. Suddenly, everything came in see-through plastic. Game Boys, iMacs, landline phones, alarm clocks. You could watch the AA battery slowly die inside your transparent purple Game Boy Color while pretending you understood what the green circuit board actually did. The transparent tech craze made no logical sense. Seeing the guts of your device didn't make it work better. It didn't add features, but it screamed, "I'm from the future," in a way that solid plastic couldn't. You bought controllers that looked like they were made of hard candy and convinced yourself this was peak design. The Nintendo 64 gave you transparent everything. Atomic purple, ice blue, jungle green. You weren't just playing games. You were playing games through a window into technology itself, even though that window revealed nothing you could actually use. Within 6 months, that clear plastic turned yellow. The internals collected dust. It looked like a science experiment gone wrong. But for a brief, beautiful moment, you felt like a hacker. Transparent wasn't enough, though. The 2000s wanted gadgets that did everything. What we got were gadgets that couldn't decide what they wanted to be and failed spectacularly at both. The Nokia N-Gage. Nokia looked at the Game Boy, looked at phones, and thought, what if we made both, but worse? The result? A phone you had to hold sideways like a taco to make calls, earning it the nickname Taco Phone. It played games poorly and made phone calls awkwardly. But it existed. That was enough for Nokia to charge you $250 for the privilege of looking ridiculous in public. The Motorola ROKR took it further. The first iTunes phone. Apple and Motorola teamed up in 2005 to create a music phone that could hold exactly 100 songs. Not approximately, exactly 100. Software-enforced limitation. Why? Nobody knows. This was at a time when iPods held thousands. Actually, it gets worse. Apple launched the iPod Nano on the same day as the ROKR, September 7, 2005. Same day. A sleeker, smaller iPod that held 1,000 songs, right next to a chunky phone that held 100. The ROKR was slow, ugly, and limited. Steve Jobs was so dissatisfied with the compromised collaboration that Apple discontinued support and announced the iPhone less than 2 years later. Mission accomplished. You're remembering these disasters now, aren't you? The plastic nightmares you actually spent money on. If this trip down memory lane is unlocking core memories, or possibly trauma, hit subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what was the tackiest piece of tech you actually owned? Because I know you had something. But the phones and controllers you carried? Those were just warm-up acts. The true peak of tacky tech wasn't what you held. It was what you wore. The 2000s gave us wearable technology before anyone figured out how to make it not look insane. Oakley Thumps. Sunglasses with a built-in MP3 player. You look like a ski instructor from the future. The sound quality? Roughly equivalent to holding a transistor radio next to your ear. The battery lasted about 6 hours if you were lucky. But you were wearing your music. That was the dream, even if the dream was heavy, unbalanced, and expensive. And by expensive, we mean nearly $500 for sunglasses. with 256 megabytes of storage. That's roughly 60 songs if you were optimistic about compression. You paid $500 to look like a cyborg and listen to 60 songs in mono through bone conduction that wasn't quite bone conduction. But they were Oakleys, and they had technology in them that justified everything apparently. Bluetooth headsets turned every business casual dad into a different kind of cyborg. One earpiece, blinking blue light, talking to nobody. We normalized walking around looking like low-level henchmen from a sci-fi movie where the budget ran out. And we defended it. "It's hands-free," we said, as if that justified looking like we were receiving orders from the mothership. You'd think we'd look back in shame. But the truth? We don't. Why did we love this chaos? Because it was fun. Modern tech is beautiful, tasteful, refined, and completely boring. Everything's a black rectangle now. Tacky tech had personality. It had soul. It was loud and weird and unapologetic. Yeah, it was ugly. Yeah, it barely worked. But it was yours, and it made you feel like you were living in the future, even if that future was wrapped in transparent plastic and covered in unnecessary chrome. We laugh at this ugly plastic now. We mock the taco phones and transparent controllers. But back then, owning this stuff wasn't a joke. It was a weapon. Your gadgets didn't just look loud. They determined exactly where you sat in the cafeteria. If you want to know whether you were royalty or a peasant based on what was in your pocket, watch this video next.